we are back and we are on to Sunday with your NFL picks for the divisional round of the NFL playoffs and betting preview for this game between the Rams and Bucs. We have already covered the Bengals and Titans and 49ers and Packers, so be sure to check out those videos as well. As always, I will say before we get started that none of the information shared in this video is an official VIP pick, but I won't guarantee that none of the information will be used for the VIP picks when they are posted on Sunday. Always want to throw that disclaimer out there. Now that we got that out of the way, in this video, we're going to take a look at how these teams got here. We're going to take a look at the spread, the over-under, and some trends for some player props in this game. Rams, Bucs should be a good one. Let's get right into it. So the Rams finished the regular season at 12-5 after cruising to a 7-1 record to start the season before they went ahead and lost 3 straight games, and then they went on to win 5 of their final 6. They looked absolutely dominant last week in the first ever Monday Night Football playoff game. So they are on a short week, but coming off of that 34-11 win, they took their foot off the gas a little early. So I'm not too concerned about them being rested up for this game on Sunday. As for the Bucs, they had a 13-4 record in the regular season. And let's see here. What do we have? One of those losses, key piece of information here, one of those 4 losses in the regular season did come to this Rams team. So we'll take a look at that regular season matchup between them in a minute. But the Bucs also took care of business last week at home against the Eagles, 31-15. Really didn't even seem that close, but they jumped out to an early lead and kind of just smooth sailing for the Buccaneers. They've been good at home all season, and the Bucs do own an 8-1 record at home. As for that regular season matchup that was in LA, the Rams won that game 34-24. Now, interesting stat here. Bucs lost by 10 in that game, but Tom Brady still threw for 432 yards. Stafford threw for 343 yards. Ton of offense. If this game this week is going to be anything like that regular season matchup, buckle up because it's going to be phenomenal. Obviously, in the playoffs, you do expect more defensive style football, but I don't know. With these two teams getting together, I think we could be in for a fun one. So let's take a look. Home field advantage. Bucs give 3 points. Looks like they are giving the Bucs the 3 points here because of the home field advantage. But on a neutral field, they look at these teams as pretty even. The Bucs have gone 10-8 against the spread this season, and the Rams have gone 9-9 against the spread. Over/under is set at 48.5, and like I said, if it's anything like it was in the regular season, smash the over. 58 total points in that regular season matchup. As for overall trends, Bucs went 9-9 against the over/under number this season. Rams went 9-8-1 against the over/under number this season. If it's going to be high scoring, then there's going to be a lot of fun player props to bet on. So let's get right into the player props. Starting with the passing props, Tom Brady's line is set at 286.5. Like I said, Bucs lost the regular season matchup, but Brady still threw for 432 yards. He went under last week, but he really could have gone over if he wanted to. He took the foot off the gas early with the game in hand. TB12 averaged 312 yards per game in the regular season, so this 286.5 looks pretty good for and over. Other guy, Matthew Stafford, 279.5. He only threw for 200 yards last week, but he was in the same boat as Brady where the Rams really pulled away with that game early and took their foot off the gas, where if it was closer and the Cardinals offense could do anything to keep the game somewhat close, I think Stafford would have easily thrown for over 300 yards. He threw for 343 in that first game against the Bucs in the regular season. So if these two are going to be going back and forth, it could be fun to bet the overs for both Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford on their passing yards prop. Rushing props, still, I tried to delay this video as much as I could today so we could get some lines up, but still missing playoff Lenny. Earth to playoff Lenny, where you at? I know the Bucs did not activate him last week, so that is a key component here to see if the Bucs do activate him and if he's going to be playing this week. because obviously the rushing props do rely heavily on that. They do have one up for Tom Brady at 1.5 yards, but I'm not going to mess around taking that one, although Brady has been known to be pretty good at the QB sneak. So you could take a look at that one if you want, but I would much rather take his passing yards prop. For the Rams, Cam Akers' line is set at 50.5, and he had 55 yards last week in what was his first full game back since coming back from his injury. He had like 3 rushing attempts in the final game of the regular season against the 49ers, but last week he really had a full workload. He ran for 55 yards, and I think there could be more for him this week. If you look back to last year in the playoffs, he ran for 131 yards and 90 yards, so pretty solid for a rookie last year. I think we can count on him. Even though this Bucs defense has been good against the run all season, they do currently have the 3rd ranked running defense. On to receiving props. Cooper Kupp, what do you think? 102.5. He had 96 yards against the Bucs in the regular season, and he did score 2 touchdowns in that game. He has gone over 102.5 receiving yards in 5 of his last 6 regular season games. Big Mike Evans line is set at 69.5. He's coming off of a huge game last week where he had 9 catches on 10 targets for 117 yards. Pretty similar stat line to what he had against the Rams in the regular season when he had 8 catches on 10 targets for 106 yards. So 69.5. I like the over on that one. Odell Beckham Jr., don't sleep on this guy. He had a pretty good game last week. He went over early, and he had his 2 best games in a Rams uniform this season against the Cardinals, and he was not involved in that game against the Bucs earlier this season, but 45.5 still seems pretty low. It seems like Stafford has really been getting him involved, obviously, and we'll get into his anytime touchdown prop in a minute, but he's got a nice trend there. Still finishing up on the receiving props. Got to take a look at Gronk. Line is set at 66.5. So he did go under last week, and he has gone under in 5 of his last 7 games. The 2 games that he did go over, he was publicly trying to earn his incentive bonus. So take it for what it is. On to the anytime touchdown scorer props. Most likely Cooper Kupp, minus 135 odds. Great value. He scored in 6 of his last 7 games, and he did have 2 touchdowns against the Bucs in the regular season. Mike Evans, minus 125 for the Bucs. He ranked number 2 in receiving touchdowns this season with 14, and he has scored in 4 of his last 5 games. Good trend there. And then your boy Odell Beckham Jr., plus 165 for this guy, and that is great value for someone who has scored in 6 of his last 8 games. Including last week. So look for him to find the end zone again. Like I said, Stafford has been getting him involved. And our long shot here, Van Jefferson at plus 310. He's always got a shot to strike the big play. That's what I'm going with for the long shot play here. So thanks for watching, guys. Check out at KofSports on Twitter, Instagram. Send me a DM with any questions on any specific player props, over-unders, team totals, parlays, teasers. I'm your guy. I'm here to help you guys win money this weekend. I'm super excited. You can also get our VIP picks and single game picks over at KofSports.com. Be sure to check that out. We do have 3 player props posted over there for Saturday's games, and there will be more and more picks coming up over the next 24 hours. So check that out. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and stay tuned for the final video of this weekend, betting preview between the Bills and Chiefs in another game that should just be great. So super excited. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you soon.